All right. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
friends.
Yay, we made it. Apparently,
We
we
did
almost
it.
didn't, but,
We're off to
Listen.
a great start.
It's okay. We're fine. We're fine. It's
We
fine.
only dropped some stuff before hitting start.
And quite honestly, that's, like, good for us. So,
That's a peak.
most
I
of
have
the
to make
time we're
up for
just a
being
mess.
absent last stream, so I'm just gonna be doubly me today.
Extra chaos.
Sorry, everybody.
Hi, I'm Kels. I'm the moron behind the controller. I'm playing our protagonist, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, and that is pretty much all I do. So yeah, I don't even have to think about doing voices. Yay! Also, I'm the local criminal.
We do.
I will let you decide what that means.
Hashtag not a serial killer.
Maybe I am.
Oh shit.
We're gonna we're gonna mix it up a little bit. What do you think I am?
Well, you did play one
Mhm.
last game.
I did.
couple of games ago.
I feel like I've played every single one of our serial killers that we've had so far, so
Typecast.
You've been typecast.
I have been typecast. Not the worst
Yeah.
typecasting, though, I will say. Like,
Yeah.
get to be
Yeah,
badass serial killers, or in the case of one, not a badass and have to have weird ass fantasies through the entire thing. And oh my god, I'm so
Yeah.
glad we're not voicing that new game.
Yeah, that would have been hard to get there.
Oh god.
Anyway, hello, I am Manabingu Giga, or whatever you want. Your food platter of the day, whatever you want. And I do have to worry about voices. So, I humbly apologize to everyone in the world ever who has a somewhat accent, because I will probably butcher it at some point. Please forgive my terrible accents, is what I would need to say anyway.
And of course, last but not least, I am Lemur. I can't do voices, so I don't try usually. There's only like 2 accents that I kind of try for, and they're not good. So I just stick with my West Coast accent and live my best little life. Of course, my standard disclaimer, hashtag dog mom. I do have 3 German Shepherds, and fan favorite Maverick is currently sitting. No, he left. I thought he was right behind me. He's off causing chaos somewhere else in the house. So I've got 3 German Shepherds, and there's also a parrot in my house, so you may hear them at some point. If I refer to my child or children, they are dogs. I'm not talking about actual, human.
Yeah. She calls the child in her basement by name.
Yeah, her name is Cookie, and she's a 25-year-old bird. I do not have an actual child. If you hear a temper tantrum in the background, it's a 25-year-old bird.
I'm trying to give you, like, lore.
I don't...
Lore
see,
failed.
This is where we differ. I don't want the lore of I have a child in my basement to be attached to my name, goddammit.
Oh no. Now that you mention it.
In some circles, I could go to jail for that. I would rather have some other weird aloof thing about me. You may start brainstorming that now.
Leave me. I'll have something by our next stream. I'll just start making up different things for each stream. It's fine.
I'm excited to see what more of my backstory as it unfolds as we continue.
I'm thinking for this stream, you once had dinner with Tiger Woods.
What?
Okay.
Wait, what? What?
I had to come up with it off the cuff, like.
Okay.
I mean, we did talk about golf tournaments before we turned stream on, so
we
yeah.
did, and also he might be probably the only golfer I can name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I was on my high school's varsity golf team for 2 years.
See? So,
One year was only because, or the second year that I was fully on varsity was because we didn't have enough girls for 2 teams.
I mean, it works.
So I got to do both. I much rather preferred to play JV. Because JV only has to do 9 holes. Varsity does 18.
Ouch.
And
Okay.
you have to walk those because they don't give children golf carts.
How about you played golf with Tiger Woods?
And kicked his ass.
Yes. There you go.
I like this. I accept.
Okay. Tune in next time to see what else Lemur has done.
Build your own lore.
Exactly.
One of those where you get to decide the path of the story.
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, good old one.
It's choose your own adventure, but a weird unhinged person is the one who's creating the options, and none of them are good.
Shit. Hashtag.
Speaking of unhinged choices, tonight's game.
I love that segue. I love that.
I was trying to go with the segue, and I think I did a great job.
Perfection.
10 out of 10.
Tonight's game, not sponsored, but it could be. We are going to play Dumb Criminals. This is the game, for those of you who do not know or need a refresher, where I present to you a crime, and you need to decide if it is real or fake. We have discovered that there are crimes in this deck that are considered fake on the card that could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we are determining the specific instance. Like, yes, like I can't remember, like, okay, I'm just gonna spoil this first one. So, like, this guy is a masked man that walked into a pawn shop in England and robbed the place. In this specific instance, this one is fake. Obviously, that's a thing that happened. So
I'm still bitter about the sperm bank thing.
we do acknowledge that some of these fake crimes probably happened. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, sorry. I was just the biggest personal disappointment my father ever gave me is naming me after a golf champion. Oh.
Yeah. Of all the disappointments, though, like, that's pretty low on the totem pole. Like,
Yeah.
There could be worse. It's not great. We'll just put it that way. I'm going to guess your name is not Tiger, so...
Yeah, is your name Tiger? Is it Tiger?
So
I will say,
just about anything at the moment, but...
in contrast to that, I will say one of life's simple pleasures that my parents have given me is the fact that they didn't directly name me after the relative I'm named after, because
Okay.
they got my name, and again, spoiler, I guess, for anybody who hasn't watched streams before, my real name is not Lemur. I can tell you that
Wait,
story too
what?
if you want. But I
It's
was
not
named after my great grandma Effie.
Okay.
I'm really glad they went with Steffi, Stephanie,
Mm-hmm.
instead of Effie, because.
Yeah, Effie. I don't know.
But yeah, so yeah, there's definitely some. It's a risk when you name a whole ass person.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean-
I like naming dogs.
like,
You can't win. Like, there's always going to be some dick in the world that you could be named after.
Mhm.
absolutely.
And if you're
Oh my
not, you could be named after Malibu Barbie, so...
I saw that and I was like, "Are you fucking serious right now?"
I feel like,
Malibu
though-
Barbie. Why would you name your child Malibu Barbie?
Like, as I was telling Lemur earlier, I have no idea anything else about this YouTuber other than she named her child Malibu Barbie. And I
To which
honestly...
my response is that you don't want to know more.
Yeah,
You
like,
don't need to
Right.
know. You don't want to know more.
I'm already cursed with the knowledge of Malibu Barbie. We do not need to expand it.
That is so bad. I mean, okay, like, this reminded me, like, this is gonna be stupid side story, but we were petty watching High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Oh,
And I
boy.
just found out that this one boy, his name is EJ, right? Guess what EJ stood for?
What?
Elton John.
Well, that's something.
I was going like, like Earl or some shit like that.
No, it ended
Elton
up
John.
being
Hell
Elton.
yeah.
And I'm like, what am I watching?
Ah,
Anyway, that's if you didn't see season 3, now you know. Yeah, we already watched that show, but
Wild.
fair.
because okay, not to be that kid or anything, but it was like we saw that they were gonna make a series. I mean, not or season 4 was gonna contain the original cast or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming back for an episode or 2 or whatever. I forgot. I don't know what the plot is, but
I don't think they know what the plot is either.
I don't think they know the plot either. But we were petty watching season. I kid you not, half the stuff in that show is this could have been resolved if y'all
I think
just.
that's what most Disney Channel esque things are, where it's this could have been resolved so fast.
Right. But
and apparently,
did
you
so
see
dramatic.
that the new season is supposed to be they're gonna film a High School Musical 4 or some shit, so it's some weird meta bullshit is happening this next season. I've never watched the show. I've just I get to hear about it.
And the kids are gonna be extras in High School Musical 4.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Someone at Disney was very proud when they pitched that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They were probably like, I'm gonna get a raise today. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Eastern Idaho police say 2 men transporting marijuana called 911 after mistakenly believing undercover officers had discovered their secret. But police weren't aware of the drugs until the 2 men called to report their location and the 20 pounds of weed that was worth $16,000.
This is definitely something that has happened somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably in Florida.
Just gonna put that out there. Where'd you say it was?
Idaho.
I've been to Idaho. I'll go for it. Sure. We'll say true.
I learned yesterday that per capita, so this is while we're deciding if this is real or fake.
Mm-hmm.
Per capita, can you guess what state has the most dispensaries? It's not what you think. So I'm going to already tell you it is not Colorado.
Okay.
So, remind me what per capita means.
Per person living, comparison to the population to the amount of weed dispensaries.
Because my first instinct was California.
Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that or New York,
but per capita makes me think something like Montana or Wyoming.
I was gonna say Wyoming first. I don't know why it just popped into my head.
Geographically, Wyoming is closer.
Right. Oh, geographically. Wisconsin?
It is not Texas. It is not Wisconsin. Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah, because I've already run out of which U.S. states are over there.
Ohio.
And
it's not legal, but they are all medical marijuana dispensaries.
I mean,
apparently their medical marijuana dispensaries are poppin' over there.
Yeah.
Poppin'.
So, good for them.
They don't have anything else there, so.
Hashtag legalize it.
Apologies to anyone who's from Ohio.
Yeah. I have a friend in Ohio. I'll ask him.
I had to look up today because, well, not today, recently, I had to look up how much trouble I could get in if I was going from a state where it's legal to another state where it's legal if I brought like an edible with me on an airplane. And fun fact, they're just going to report me to the local police. So if I go from Oregon to California in an airplane, I don't think the Californian police are going to give a shit.
No, probably not.
No. So yeah, if a TSA caught me, they would just report me to the local police. So starting off here, my local police are not going to care.
Yeah.
And when they get dropped off in California, same thing. So, not endorsing smuggling drugs across state lines, but
Yeah, I probably wouldn't endorse that one, but
just know
yeah.
that if it's legal in bowl, you could probably get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Kelsey said true. Mama,
I said
true.
Um,
Would you like me to read
sure.
it again now that
I'll
I've
say
completely true? Okay.
Yeah, true.
Chat, have you decided?
I just saw Rhode Island.
I'm trying to remember what states it's legal in right now, actually. It just expanded recently.
We can Google that.
The map is getting greener, my friends. And yet, we needs to be greener and the reparations need to happen, but, Because I know it's the whole West Coast. I mean, it's not that hard to do. True. So all three of you are saying true. It's not that hard to do since we only have 3 states over here. While you're Googling that,
Yep.
It is true. That is very much what 2 idiots did in Eastern Idaho.
Woo!
Of course they did.
All right.
Why would you call the police on yourself, regardless if you thought they figured it out?
Right.
Because you're
Well,
dumb.
sometimes-
That's how you make it into this game.
Yes, true. That's true.
Stupid criminals.
Also,
Wow.
19 states have recreational marijuana laws.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, a lot of them have it on the. They have 2 more that it's on the
The
ballot. So,
and I know there's a lot more that do medicinal.
yes.
I
Not as
don't
many
know.
as you'd think, though.
No?
12, 13. Only 17 that don't have, obviously, the recreational.
Oh, okay.
So,
17 additional that
right.
do
That have
medicinal.
legal medicinal, but don't have legal recreational. So
You
there's
said the first number was 19?
18, I think.
18, 19?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's 35 out of 50 states where it's legal in some capacity.
I was more surprised at the fact that, like, there's that many states that it's not legal at all.
Yeah.
Like, not even for medical? Damn.
Alright. On that note,
Watch me get a whole bunch of weed ads now, despite the
yeah,
fact that I'm allergic to it.
Well, hot damn.
our FBI agents are gonna. have a
My
field
FBI
day.
agent doesn't do shit, so fight me.
They're sleeping on the job.
That or they haven't figured out what to get me for yet.
I have been listening to songs on repeat, so I'm pretty sure my FBI agent has nothing to do with me. We are definitely on a fixation kick with music, and I'm listening to the same shit over and over. So
That's fair.
sorry.
That's very fair.
I've been trying to force myself to listen to other music so I don't burn myself out, because I've burnt myself out on songs recently, and I would really like not to do that.
Music fixations are like the best and also the worst. So,
What my favorite is like when you burn yourself out on a song and then 10 years later you hear it and you get like the serotonin again and go, oh no, not again.
My
it's
issue-
happening again.
My issue is that Spotify will I don't remember what song it is anymore. So Spotify, I took the song off of my playlist because I was like, you know what, I've listened to it too much, I need it gone. And what Spotify does is you'll get through the playlist, and instead of ending it sometimes, it'll start playing recommended music to go along with your other interests. And more often than I want it to happen, that song is the first thing it plays after the recommended section, and it's like, I told you I don't want this song anymore.
Or do you?
Yeah.
It clearly knows what you want more of. Better than you.
Vasquez robbed his local convenience store, stealing all of the lotto scratch cards and cash from the shop. On arriving home, he scratched all of the cards and realized he'd won. The next day, he took the scratch card to the store he had robbed for verification. He was arrested when he went to claim his prize, as the serial numbers on the cards had been reported as stolen.
I mean, what else? When you steal lottery tickets, or, you know, like lottery cards, like, you've got to cash it in somewhere, because it doesn't, you know, like, there's nothing to the piece of paper. So, I'm going to say true on this one. I feel like that's something that would be really easy to just not think all the way through.
I'm gonna just...
That's going for false, so...
False. Yeah, I'm gonna go false. Yeah, for once. Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree on this one.
Well, I have good news.
Eh?
It's false.
Oh, thank God. Don't steal lottery tickets, everyone.
Some idiot has done that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm having a problem with, is that, like, I'm sure someone has done it.
Well, like, granted, also, so my grandma, one of her, like, best friends, like, literally anytime I had ever, so, like, the classy lesbian that she is, she and my other grandma go to brunch. They have different brunch groups that they go to and hang out with every day. And on Sundays, that friend group, that's usually the brunch that never got canceled. So if I was in town, I'd have to go, and that lady always had scratch off tickets. And the most I ever won off of her, like, she actually, like, she would just, like, pass them around. And if you won anything, she would just give you cash, and then she'd go turn them in. And I think the most I ever won was like $5.
Ayo, $5.
Like, hell yeah, I think I was like 12
Let's go.
last time she did that to me, and I was like, hell yeah, $5.
Hell yeah, best $5 of my life. They were so free.
So it did happen. Oh, go away. Give me just a second. The New York Daily News has it happening. The article was written today at 4:47 p.m.
Oh shit.
It happened in Michigan.
Oh shit.
He tried to redeem a $100 scratch-off ticket. He's accused of stealing from the convenience store where he's a regular customer.
Okay. Damn.
He had come in a hooded sweatshirt, helped himself to 2 packs of cigarettes, $50 in cash, and a bunch of scratch-off tickets. So, it has happened very recently.
Damn, it's like somebody knew we were gonna play this game.
Also, apparently 13 hours ago, someone tried to steal a $100 winning lottery ticket and had an entire car chase, which I think is a better story. But
a car chase. Holy shit. Wow,
there's a lot of people asking whether or not you can cash a stolen lottery ticket.
Well, I would hope not.
The answer is pretty much no. Apparently, you have to, I should point out, I've never bought a lottery ticket, so I don't exactly know how it works, but apparently it has to go through some sort of, like, scan when you buy it to, like, mark it as valid, and then you have to generally cash it in somewhere between 90 and 180 days, depending on the jurisdiction.
Yeah. Which is why, like, you know, like, there's all those articles online about, like, what you should actually do if you ever win the lottery, like the big lotteries. And that's where a lot of those, like, yeah, you get all of these things before you tell anybody, before you try to cash it in, because the second you go to claim it, everyone's gonna know you got that money. Like, one of the tips is, like, make sure no one actually, like, you don't owe money to anybody, like, actually.
Yeah.
And, don't tell your whole family, because people are gonna just do all this shit. But yeah, there's a whole list, and I've never
care
bought a lot
about
of
you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
right?
Clearly.
Yeah, I think I'd have a lot of family members
You're
that
my
would be like,
favorite cousin.
Hell, screw family members, just people that you've talked to like 3 times that happen to have your number.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
fuck yeah.
the roommate you had for a year in
Mhm.
college, like, just random shit people that you haven't talked to in forever.
Mm-hmm.
That
Hey,
kid
we're
that you used
besties
to eat
right
lunch
now.
with in high school, like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, speaking of shit people, Wilson and James, a pair of thieves from Great Falls, Montana, were tasked with stealing a couple of horses. Hello, Maverick. Speaking of horses, their plan was to open all of the stalls in the horse barn and then lasso them. Unfortunately, when James let the horses out, Wilson got injured. Got injured in the subsequent stampede. Police picked him up in the hospital.
I'm gonna go false on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems a little far-fetched.
I don't have a really good reason other than I did not watch enough Animal Planet as a kid, so I don't entirely know. Like, I know horses can trample someone to death, but I feel like you'd have to, like, have pretty good speed. And if he's just opening up the door, like, I don't know how you could logically do that.
I mean, I worked with some pretty big horses, and those fuckers, like, I got stepped on one time, and the only reason he did not break my foot was because we were out in the pen, and the ground I was stepping on, or standing on, gave way enough that he did not break my foot.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that he got stepped on. It's just that, like, trampled makes me think that, like, he got knocked over and then stepped on a few times.
It does say that he got injured. If that helps, if that changes your mind. Not that I'm trying to persuade you either way.
I'm still gonna go with false.
Chat says true.
I also feel like there's gotta be a better plan than to try to lasso horses after you let them go.
But also, like, yeah, they're in their stalls. Like, just put a bridle over there. Like, don't just let them out. Like, you're making your life harder. Which is a good thing, because it is false. So they didn't.
Woo!
There's smarter ways to steal a horse.
Don't steal horses, everyone.
Exactly.
Can
we do one more?
One more? Okay.
Let's do one more.
Hold, please.
We will not hold.
How dare you? No, just kidding.
All right, last but not least, Eloise Reeves approached a policeman and asked him to help her get her money back from the poor quality crack cocaine she just purchased. Eloise showed him the crack, which she had tucked away in her mouth, and then he placed her under arrest.
What?
I don't know if this is true, but I can say I interned at a police station during undergrad, and we did have someone come into the police station with illegal drugs because they were saying that that it wasn't the quality that they paid for. So I'm gonna go with true on this one, just out of, like, personal experience.
I too am gonna go with true, only just because drugs make people do stupid shit, and if she was on drugs, this seems like something somebody on drugs would do.
It sounds unrealistically efficient for a cop, so I will say false. Well,
That's valid.
y'all, Eloise is that dumb.
Woo!
Wow, she is that dumb. Okay. See? Don't do drugs, kids.
I've definitely seen oh my god, okay. So we had a car that was parked in one of our parking lots at work.
Mhm.
My office is like located in the downtown area, so like we don't have just like, you know, like a store where you have like a big parking lot, so we're kind of all scattered around a little bit. So one of the parking lots, there was this vehicle. Eloise has sparked this story, but
Damn you, Eloise.
there was this vehicle that was parked in our parking lot without a permit, just hadn't moved for like a week and a half. And so our building maintenance, or our facilities manager, called a tow truck, and conveniently, so did the owner of the car at the same time. So, TLDR, apparently this guy is known by our local police, and what he does is he trades use of his vehicle to other people for drugs.
Oh.
And what he does is, so they get to have it for X amount of time, and then they leave it wherever, and then after that time he calls it in stolen to the police, so they locate it for him. And the problem this time was the keys were gone.
Of
Ah.
course. The keys
So
were
normally
gone.
they would leave the keys in the car,
Mhm.
or near the car. He didn't know where his was. I don't know. This is secondhand information that I am passing on to you. But yeah, apparently our facilities manager tried calling the police once he found out there could be fentanyl in the car. He was like, and the police were like, no, we're not doing anything about this.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
Damn.
And then, yeah, so they did, essentially, our facilities manager disclosed to the two tow truck drivers at the time that there could be fentanyl in the car, and they were both like, yeah, we're not breaking into this car. But it did get towed. I don't know that whole situation, and I don't know what happened to the car since, but
I'm just imagining both of those tow truck drivers looking at each other like that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
You, baby.
Rock, paper, scissors of who has to open up the drug car.
Yeah.
Because my understanding,
Bob.
my understanding, for those of you who might not know why you wouldn't open a car that has fentanyl in it, is that it could be lethal in any amount of dose, depending, and you can just inhale it and it can kill you. So that's why.
Not to mention, laws of possession can get real dicey real quick.
Yeah.
So
like, you know, if he had mentioned it to the owner of the vehicle had mentioned it to our facilities manager. They couldn't see the drugs in the car. He said that so the owner said there might be. So our facilities manager passed that word of mouth on to the tow truck drivers, because he was like, I don't want to just have them still take it and then.
Yeah. Well,
so, anyway,
wherever those drugs are, someone either enjoyed them or is probably going to enjoy them at some point. Shall we play the game?
Yes.
All right, so let's recap what we did last time. Constable Rolly Beat was too sleepy to say much, so his wife Patricia did most of the testifying about how she went to a police box when she saw the crime. We figured out that the books she claimed Soseki dropped were not the books he bought, and realized that the woman in the photo was holding the Lion's Pride book that the Gyaradeps lost, further implying that Joan is framing him. But the jury once again unanimously declared guilty, so on to another summation examination. Viva Dakuni del Florida Man, and don't forget to subscribe to Barack Van Zeek's OnlyFans account. The Hallowed Chalice account is the Hallowed Chalice count is 6, and the British racism count is 21, and it honestly probably is higher than that, and we're just giving them
leeway.
the benefit of the
or
doubt
something.
at this point, you know.
Mm.
Okay.
Definitely a lot of microaggressions happening.
Yeah.
And overt racism.
Honestly, every time I hear the word
lot of
bunnies,
things.
I wish they would just say a slur.
At this point.
Ah.
Just cut to the chase.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
just
just
say
say
it.
you're racist. Damn. Anyway.
Yeah. I was gonna give an example, and it's like, as a white person,
Yeah, you might not want to
I
do
should just
that.
listen and move on. That is the true lesson that we all need to learn, white people. Just move on. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial
Yeah.
right to this procedure.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, my eyeball is itchy. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman?
Hell yeah, Your Honor. We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court. My eye is just out of control, sorry. The grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this case.
Deja vu all
Yes,
over again.
fuck, Your Honor. No.
All right, the jurors' contentions again.
Forever. The accused left behind evidence in the scene, didn't he? There's 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Girl, you are the most racist person on this jury so far. Like, I don't know that you will reconsider.
Yeah, absolutely. She's the worst.
Even if the woman was thrown books, it can't be related to the crime if the window is closed, can it?
Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a dandy bit of trouble.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Feel that, buddy?
Thank you.
I hate that I almost read it as titty bit of Sorry. There, now we all know where my mind is today.
You're on the fan fiction line that we were on a couple streams ago. It's fine.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems.
Yeah, all of those seemed very relevant.
Absolutely.
With one notable exception, of course.
Juror number 6 is in his own world, and we are just living in it.
Yes.
My learned friend was unable to find fault in his previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. And now the room is hotter.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone.
We just came back from a to be continued. I'm gonna guess it's not.
I fail to see how it could be argued any other way. Considering we're still here. That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it is essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide.
Oh yeah, let me just, come up with that. Thanks, man.
Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. No pressure.
And there I was, thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then.
And then the stream will be so short.
I know.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you're prepared, Counsel.
Prepared is one word. Oh,
And for trouble.
yes, my lord. All right, Leonosuke, focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garadeb?
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadib's house on the evening of the incident. And a fourth book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two. Yeah, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes. I've been a lawyer for a whole, 2 days.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Good to know. Alright, bitches. Let me get out my sword.
We're gonna die.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
But, as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
Yeah, well, what difference does it make?
There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's the part I have a problem with.
Sorry?
Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, the landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said?
That's, not exactly how I put it, no.
Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
He's right, you know.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
Yeah, except for their each other's alibi.
So it could have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say.
Good job. Sit down, child. Oh no, it's the racist woman. Anyway.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
She always makes me think of one of the lady trainers from Pokemon. And I don't know what it is about her, but there's something about her.
It's I think it's the face. Like she just has like that trainer face, you know what I mean?
It does. I don't get it.
It's the style for sure.
So you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Too bad she's racist. Anyway.
Came back right. Oh my, such delight on your face. Can I help you, bud? Thank you. I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story.
In one If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? Oh,
I don't.
this is giving me like I shouldn't vote because my vote doesn't really matter vibes.
Mhm.
And
Oh god, I hate it.
Look, we've already canceled her. I don't know. Like, can we double cancel her?
yeah,
She is double cancelled.
bury her deeper into the ground. You see, modern metropolitan and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony.
How is she getting bonus points for saying Japanese, not Nipponese?
Yeah, this is a plot twist right here.
So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty.
Guilty.
Modern metropolitan and rational logic, wouldn't you say? Jesus, the more she says it, the more I want to just...
The more
Overwhelmingly.
you want to stab.
But us modern gals are always
Gals.
delighted to embrace new fads,
Gal pal.
So I'd be really happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too. If only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm
not-
glad you omitted rational there.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window is closed, can it?
But what about the possibility that the window was open?
What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been.
How can you be so sure?
The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see?
But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you?
It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it.
Then what's the point in even having windows, huh?
Decoration?
Decorum?
Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry.
No, I will not.
Somehow I need to show that there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. I mean, there was a fire in the room. Why would they not have opened the window?
Mm-hmm.
Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit.
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Not with that attitude.
I'm Maverick. Sit down. Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Ooh. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Girl, you can do better than him. Like, well,
Absolutely.
any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing. Yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett.
Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. And I wouldn't have any more of these suggestions that it wasn't it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He
Ooh.
doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrideb's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. Maverick, stop it.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a titty bit of trouble. That's it.
Sir, the titties are not relevant here. You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Sure is. Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies, readies? Sure. You'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning.
What?
I will die. You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
All these marriages so good.
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, Do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
Okay. Why'd you say it? It was too frightening that the thing I must have blocked it out.
Helpful.
I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the Thames?
Thames.
Thames.
Thames?
By
Thames.
Scar. Thames.
Don't even go there, Miss Sato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. We just keep harassing juror number 4 until he has a, war flashback. It's fine.
Yeah. Seems legit.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Does
The
that-
tiny titty sorry.
There we go. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry, what? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
It's the devil.
Of course
cake.
not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that that's a common custom in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. Jesus. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place was filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
With a strong will and determination.
What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, We had to open all the windows to clear it.
Windows.
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave. It did. What?
Just keep saying devil.
I'm just trying to imagine, why, when the devil obviously has so many other things to do, why
He has a busy schedule, you
the
guys.
devil would just rush to dance on your grave. Anyway, I got a terrible cold from it. It put me in the hospital for a while. I wouldn't forget that birthday in a hurry.
Look, when I die, I'm hoping the devil has a rave on top of my grave. It's fine. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason.
He's gonna play caramel dancing.
Oh, excuse me. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. So we crossed Juror 6's window story with Juror 3's window denial, right?
That's what I'm thinking, yep.
Excellent. I like it. As well as how he or she could have done it. They is right there. Sorry,
It's
my
right
soapbox,
there.
y'all.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced that they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other. Look, you used it right there. To force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Alright, so let's take on our windows.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to blah blah blah, all this shit.
So apparently his statement has changed to winter house fires are dire, you have to open windows to clear the smoke, that's when the chill gets you, you see.
Okay.
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another. I wish they would stop doing the, very generic things, because then I sit here and go, oh my god, I'm wrong.
They do. How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me.
What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up.
Juror number 3. Do you see?
No. Oh, me. See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter.
Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you'd be mad not to open the...
You can do it.
Oh!
Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household. And Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh, my hat!
Oh boy.
Oh, she drinking.
Juror number 4, you have something to say about that?
No, she's just sipping her tea real loud.
Mrs. Garadeb,
Oh, dearie me.
where did you get the Mary Poppins teapot?
Right.
What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's
the fountain
imperative
of
that
youth.
you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
What? I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating? that I'm married. Just a maid.
Yeah.
Oh. The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. I just watched that last night, actually, and
It's a good movie.
it's such a good movie. And what if we did? I about lost my shit. So you know when they uh towards the beginning when they're climbing the cliff,
Mhm.
um watching them just effortlessly climb up. I mean, obviously, like Andre the Giant is supposed to have three grown ass people on his back.
Mhm.
But just watching them just effortlessly climb up this fucking cliff is hilarious. Anyway,
Ah.
I lost it. Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Maverick, get your sister out of your mouth.
Even though your house was on fire?
You know, when you're just so filled with rage that you just say fuck it and try to burn down your whole house. Um, oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. Oh boy, you need to seek therapy. Please seek a therapist. Um, it would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Okay.
Of course. I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadeb's formal statement. Now you mention it. Yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten. But it's true.
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadeb told us he had been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did. Sorry. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you've come to mention it. Now you've come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't. You insolent little man, I didn't remember. All the times, at times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as well you know.
I really don't.
Sorry, I've never fought with my husband because he's dead. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
This man is having war flashbacks right now. What is it, juror number 5?
Oh shit, you know something? I remembered what it was. That member I'd blocked out.
Ah.
I got rickrolled in the middle of the night. No, I was
it was listening to what this granny was saying. It brought it flooding back.
Ouch, Granny. Yep, he probably deserved that.
Yep.
Is that me?
Yep, you're number 4.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I struggle because like I just associate the pictures and I don't always remember what number. So
You're
sorry.
good.
Who are you calling Granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid. I'll have you know.
The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
Sad.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
Suck. You haven't heard half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I couldn't hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ears, stuck into the wall next to me. I did, about an inch deep. So what I'm saying is I was almost murdered.
No words. Just terror.
I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. Yeah, I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you.
You need a new marriage.
No, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, some terrible names you name. Something that will cut you deeper than your soul.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
We definitely don't throw hands at any opportunity that we get. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
Okay.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack? That's the girl that has flipped me over like 8 times now.
Susato's takedown with archery.
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words
Oh, never mind. She just brushed it under the rug.
could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later. If I dare.
Let's not. And say we did. Oh, no hiccups. Here we go.
A woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. And now for domestic violence.
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. I might be jumping the gun here.
No, you're right.
Good grief. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think, perhaps, that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated. Let me try that again. This is where I'm supposed to be cool, not tripping over my words. We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. Originated in Mr. Garrideb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrideb household to the street below.
What's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garrideb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened.
Now you listen here, you Eastern Galah. I don't know what that is, but as the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it?
Can you not put it together on your own?
No, he's dumb. He's dumb as fuck.
Oh, I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. All right, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrideb household to the scene of the crime was the jackknife.
Jesus.
Juror number
Sorry.
4, Mrs. Garrideb.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this, but I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife, have you ever seen this knife before?
Ah. Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing?
A lot.
That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, ma'am.
Yes, this is called a Hail Mary. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrideb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene.
You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp.
Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand?
Oh, even my missus hasn't got a name like that.
Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my. Ah!
I love that.
Mrs.
Delayed.
Garrideb, your answer. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Ah!
Oh, she's out.
Oh, and she's died.
So, if we murder a juror...
Do we go to jail?
My lord.
Yes, Elmo.
I wish to change my decision.
Oh shit.
I'm a woman of my word after all.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I don't like doing that, but I certainly didn't see this coming. Oh. I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman!
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents. Not guilty.
Shit.
Second one down. We
Hell yeah.
did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4, now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue.
Take that, Vampire Man.
Whee! That's good. Did.
Whew.
We did.
We saved ourselves from certain destruction for a second time.
That's good. I wonder if anyone else has ever had to do this summation examination twice in the history.
Considering the fact that they told us in the last trial that it hasn't been used for like 200 years,
Mhm.
probably not recently at least.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
The prosecution has opened up 3 bottles of wine while that was going on. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Ah, I love me some Kool-Aid. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
Dude, it's like 10:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
Are you just like throwing these away because you're suffering with your alcohol addiction, or like what's going on here?
Yes, exactly that. But what follows is so repugnant. It's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Bitch. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke, to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
Pulling at straws. It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Geradeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Geradeb's house to the scene is some, 15 yards.
Let's see, 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined.
And yes, you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance. The 4th book was found in the victim's clutches, all burnt. In other words, the smouldering book wantonly held by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? At least we're still friends. He didn't call us enemies yet. I mean, we still friends. And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back?
This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots.
Down, Susato. Down. Ah!
Oh fuck, she gonna say something.
There's nothing I can say to that.
Hey, 10-year-olds have great fanfic too. Anyway.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
Miss Susato.
Holy shit, that was savage.
Uh, serialized.
Mhm.
I don't know why that word was like looking at it. I was like,
Cereal.
what the fuck?
Oh.
Just
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
I made a joke to my boss today that I lost the ability to read for a second, and it's just in passing. Like I could say that to you guys, and I'm not like
Mhm.
I'm fine,
yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And I said
Right.
this to her, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, oh, "God damn it! Like I forgot I can't 100%. I can't speak internet to you. Like
I can't speak internet. Speak internet.
Oh.
this mode of like, because I was looking at a document, and I was like, oh, "Good Lord, I forgot how to read." And she was like,
Oh.
"Anyway,
She probably took it seriously.
yeah, she did."
Oh, that's sad.
I had to backtrack and was saying like, "Oh, I'm just kidding," just to. All of a sudden, I just my brain kind of like fogged for a second and like tried to like
TJK.
explain the joke, and it was like, God damn it.
Oh.
It's really
Yeah.
bad when you have to explain the joke.
Yeah, I mean, also, what up, Lemur M29, and never learned how to fucking read. My
Oh.
lord, might I be allowed to speak? I love it when I get to talk to myself as you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to point out, if Susato's next words aren't Von Zeeks, we're fighting in the parking lot right now, that is not her next words.
Mhm.
The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. As such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative
Alternative facts.
I had it. The explanation as thoroughly as possible. Oh, excuse me. And to that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garadeb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Oh,
Oh shit.
like, oh, fuck. Saints alive. A cross-examination of a juror?
Well, that's what happens when you get every single juror who was actually, like, at the scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm. Shit goes down.
Hodor. Well, this is highly irregular.
Glorious.
It's unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand. It's also unprecedented to have the entire jury know about the crime already and be involved.
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Uh-huh.
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have been flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. Okay?
Sure.
What say you, witness? Witnesses.
Witness I. Witnesses.
Oh, yes, sir. Constable Rowley Bates reporting for duty, sir. That was a good nap for me.
Well. Good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies.
Yes, for no pickles.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, Rolly, my hero. You make me swoon.
Love that.
The retching person in the audience is back.
The barfing woman is behind me again. Would you like some wine? Would you like some cheese with that wine?
Very well. I hereby reject the defense's request.
Damn.
Oh,
That's it.
and order the witness in the stand to testify again.
I love how happy the music got.
State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Queen.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the window on the top floor of the Garadeb house is a top-hinged casement.
Whatever that is.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I'd leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
The same Rolly that has been sleeping through most of his court appearance today.
Yes.
I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for a moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on the front, sir.
Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged. What? Top hinged casement windows. Okay.
That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable.
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top hinged casement window?
Thank you.
And you. Oh boy. You cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
I've been in the UK for like 3 whole days, my dude. Of course. Sorry.
Get good.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadev's room.
Right, I'll try.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. Thank you for explaining us how windows work.
What's a window?
But as it's a top-hinged casement window, oh, okay. It swings open along the upper edge, you see. It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Everything.
I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me.
Yet good.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
Unless the bottom one was open too. No.
You see the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. Now try to learn Mac. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be!
Not the bees.
Did you see that? Oh, that's Patricia. Hey, Patricia!
What up, girl?
Did you see that, Rolly? The young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Agony.
In agony.
Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. How he crumbled before me.
Okay, can we leave me out of your foreplay, please? This poor Japanese man is having a crisis.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
Oh, Patricia, you're stronger.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed.
He is deceased.
Deceased.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
Wow. No sympathy here.
My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation.
My lord, everything sucks.
My lord, can we do this by the ancient rite of swordplay?
Yeah.
I can't use this sword, but no one else in the court seems to have one, so...
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. Believe me, a London Bobby's a good for his word.
How can you say that for certain?
I can't. A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to us all policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that. Ooh, Jesus.
Good
Showed us that
times.
before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember.
To patrol the streets of London town and mow the pace of a common man is what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly, sir.
Oh, Rolly, you're so manly.
Oh, of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, please.
Oh, shit.
Ah, No.
for them.
No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb?
God, I found the Patricia video. Sorry, I just had this moment of like, I never sent you guys the video. That I...
Patricia.
Patricia! Anyway, I'm
Oh,
texting
that
it
one.
to you.
Okay.
I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
I did, but that's okay. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yes?
I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I almost said upload.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So that, to end that, sir, I'd be happy to lend you any warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Thank you. I'll try.
Okay.
Alright, let's take a look at the warrant card. See if anyone cries.
Wait. Ahem. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garadeb house are top-hinged castements.
Alright, item number 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item number 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item number 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Okay. That didn't help us at all so far, but... By which you mean they don't open fully. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open. And therefore anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the streets directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. This is where it would yeet. Here is the location where objects would have fallen if they indeed did yeet.
Yes. Sure. Okay. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second. I was like, am I actually unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top-hinged casement thing before?
No.
Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house is furnished with?
Oh, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Oh, I can't
she
imagine this is
giggled.
gonna go well, but let's ask her anyways. Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Clearly.
Sorry.
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering. That's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But but we're just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beat.
Oh, well. Oh, yeah, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garadeb household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir.
That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. The Garadeb household is on your beat. Does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garadeb's house? Yes, Mom. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat.
What if they moved the body so it wasn't on his beat?
True.
I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all. Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
ACAB.
Do you know what I think? I'm sure you're going to tell us.
What do
I
you
think it was a good... Jesus Christ. Speaking of, I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all of his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Alright.
Now it's my turn, I think. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't it guide you to answer the question?
If a flaming book had caught across the sky in front of us, it would have been lit up like a shooting star.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it.
You wish upon a star. That's
Let
my
Rolly
character
be
session.
an inspector, I would have said 3 times at least.
Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
In short, you're trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you. Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. Because of the rain.
Certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
We saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. Did I leave the scene to go fetch help? I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to go fetch another officer. Is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, please.
Oh, bitch.
I was apparently already on, Inosuke's wavelength. Sir, you're late. I already made that joke.
Also, chat said, okay, I'm positive that Joan accidentally threw a knife at Olive on Briar's Road and then fabricated the crime scene that everyone saw Natsume at. Well, that seems about right.
So, I suppose... Oh, wait, that's not me.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. I thought it was you too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. Was he awake?
Was he woke?
Yeah.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. I just noticed I made him sound like Tommy this entire time. Shit. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for a moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Nothing to report?
Toby. Anyway, that's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. Except when I was closing my eyes to take a short nap. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on Yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
I beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garretup household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hands of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Magic, sir. Oh. Aha! Could it have been a different copy, sir? One that just happened to burn as well?
No.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Oh, we all have one of those. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you?
What gave
I
you
can
that?
tell.
Last time this happened, this backfired on us, but what? I wasn't really, I mean, what's she doing?
Shit.
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. Oh,
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word. I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
Exactly.
No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. God, hashtag white
no.
feminism.
Oh shit.
My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Never said you can't.
Literally, no one has said anything
Right.
about
No.
you being a lady. Like,
Right.
Jesus.
For real.
We
Yes,
didn't even
please.
say anything against her.
Right.
She's just.
Oh. Anyway.
Yes, Mrs. Bede, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. What?
That
What?
was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for
God.
nothing, does he? She's
God.
one of those bitches that's like,
Oh.
my husband's a policeman, so like I am a part of the police, and you're like, no,
No,
your husband's
fucking
job,
not.
damn it.
That's
Anyway.
not how it works.
Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. I don't think Rolly can do fucking jack shit.
Yeah.
Rolly over here about to faint.
Yeah. Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Nothing useful.
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little bit off sometimes, though. Contradiction yourself.
Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
Literally no one.
I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene. Oh my god.
Here we go.
And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
I'm sure you're looking the right way, bitch. Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really.
Okay.
I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross. I don't think that man ever gets anything.
Constable Beat, is there a problem?
I know, sir. No problems, sir.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
No. Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening as well.
It's
Huh?
all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was a good 15.
Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease.
Okay.
But the
Sure.
reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly. Bouquet.
The bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
The cool one.
Oh, it was a Sorry, my headset just was not fitting right. Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rolly is so romantic.
So romantic.
He saved up for it with farthings and hay pennies he found in the gutter while he was doing his rounds. Does he not get paid?
Yes. How romantic. Loose change.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Oh, yes. Yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Don't worry, just told an entire court of law. Really? Oh.
Amazing.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm quite sure of one thing. I'll have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet that you just mentioned, I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Just try to argue with me, bitch.
I will.
What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. Then why was it? It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again, and the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
Oh shit.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
Are you implying that she got up and walked away?
Yes. Exactly.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
Husband.
That's right, silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street.
Or he did. With the crime scene.
Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think of how it got there. I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick up the bouquet. Pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose?
Oh. Oh, yes. Yes, that's it. That's my rose, specifically.
It is
Different than all
mine.
the other roses. That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary. I thought bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose.
Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, where did you come by the flower?
Is it right under the window?
According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found in the edge of the pavement in front of the Geradeb household.
In front of the Geradeb's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found in the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for good measure this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh.
Yeah. Plus, I can now use it to beat your husband into submission, so.
Oh yeah.
But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back.
I want it all. I want it
Good
all.
grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget Mrs. Beat. She'll get mad at me if I call her Miss Beat. Oops.
I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for a moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Okay, so. I don't know if I need to press it or present, but. So we will, get through. I never looked away. Nothing was removed from it. Yeah. Except for. Seems a little strange. No, it's not. Okay, so I must just need to present.
Well, Mr. Jesus. Mr. Naruhodo, it's getting late and I'm losing the ability to read. Well, what do you make of all this?
Yeah. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along, but I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Geradeb was hiding something from us, but it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair. Yeah, it is. Blah, 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 blah. Right. There. Okay, so he was there. You claim, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described,
Bitch.
no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Jesus.
Well, shit.
Here. Listen, I don't like this girl, but also, like, leave her the fuck alone. Like,
Seriously.
Hey, God.
Jesus.
Don't be bitter because you're lonely, dude.
Yeah, whore.
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. If the bouquet belonged to me, has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrideb's book. Mr. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
Shit.
What are you trying to say? While you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
Mayhaps.
Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Twittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh, good. Mrs. Garrideb's come round. That'll make this so much easier. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrideb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, Tusato, what's it called?
Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's called tampering. I knew that, clearly. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection.
Tampering. You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had to cause the carry out such an elaborate deception.
Yeah, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
This bitch here.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you.
Oh, fuck.
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? Maverick, I know. What nonsense. Why would my Rolly do something like that? Yeah, Sholmes screwed with the crime scene for kicks and giggles.
Clearly.
There's no
Definitely.
one straighter than my husband. Oh boy. No, Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beat, ACAP, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense and it's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well,
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
that's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering.
Because you haven't asked yet.
Oh, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve the mystery?
I have. Everything okay?
No. My phone decided to yell at me.
Fair.
It's like, "Arr!" I'm a big bitch. I'm in the middle of something.
Counsel, you have made very serious accusation against a London police officer.
Sounded like a dying cat.
You're mistaken. I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged.
Yes.
With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord.
Tell us.
Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell.
Yeah. So it wasn't on his beat.
Right. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs.
What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement on Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? I am beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. Why do I keep getting big words?
You keep
Tired
getting
and
the big words,
stupid.
yeah.
I'm tired and stupid and I don't want to read. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys.
That was great. I loved
I'm
that
fine.
very much.
If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Right here.
Take that!
But that's...
On the opposite side of the road.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garrideb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
Good gracious.
Objection!
Well, fuck.
Goodness gracious. Balls of fire.
Great balls of fire. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road.
Extraordinary.
But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume?
Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it couldn't have been seen in the dark, obviously.
Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position, on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beat?
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Rolly. Uh, it isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I'm a bad boy, Patricia.
And
I,
goodbye. Uh,
I, I had a dream, a terrible dream. All the things I did that night, everything come out, everything exposed.
Yeah, that happened like 2 minutes ago.
Only it seems. If it wasn't a dream at all.
good golly.
Holy fuck!
Thank you.
Hodor. What on earth is the meaning of all of this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why did you do something like this? Moving a corpse. She's not dead. It's a criminal offense, isn't it?
It is to her.
Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Okay.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this?
Because raisins.
As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town.
Oh, I can't say so.
What?
Someone gave me money. I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the yard's reputation. For everything.
Dobby is free. No,
I have a possible explanation
here we go.
for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
Patricia, if you've been a bad boy, we can save your punishment for tonight, but please not in public.
Jesus.
Whoa, on that note, what? How could you have possibly known?
You're a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
Loving the microaggressions.
And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it's the foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far.
Wah, 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 wah.
I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory.
Yeah.
Counsel for the defense, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence.
At once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. They're sleepy.
Feels.
Need to do that or warrant card. I'm gonna guess it's the warrant card. It's one or the two, or one of the two. I can talk. I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special, how?
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes. That was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
Ew, love? I don't know what that is. Can't relate. When he and Mrs. B stumbled upon a crime along the Briar Road, he said, "Fuck no, not on my watch."
When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement in front of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
God damn it.
But Sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up a lot with being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives.
Aha!
Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not, the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said, it's all right.
So that's it. Ew. It was about love. Ugh. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Disgusting.
Oh.
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Beat.
Good gracious. Constable, do you realize my brain just said the thought gravy. The gravity of what you just said.
Do you realize the gravy of what you've done?
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on the beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here?
It's
And
about
why
you.
tonight of all nights?
Why, God, why?
Why,
How
God
dare this
damn
woman
it.
get stabbed on my street? How
Exactly.
dare she?
I'm so over it. Stop getting murdered, everyone. Damn! I'm tired. I haven't slept in months. It's a copper's job to go on the scene of the crime, so I told Pat you'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that was coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street and then... dot, 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 forever.
Oh, Susato's room.
Sato's taking notes for
Still
her fan fiction.
disgusting.
I did it for me, Pat. Ah.
Look,
I
You moved a
thought
crime scene for your romance. My boyfriend got murdered by a 16-year-old girl. We aren't on the same.
I'm I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love Pat so much.
Oh,
And I'm
Constable.
tired. I just wanted just one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh damn. What have I done?
Oh, really?
Just that one night. Couldn't have called out sick, who knows? But I just moved the damn body.
Hey, no
You
temper
knew
tantrums,
that if
please.
this incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction, just across the street, to the east pavement of Friar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
Because that's so much better.
Oh yeah.
I beg your pardon.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing ground, cold pavement. Oh, I see your meaning now.
But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly. It was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place.
I should have helped you commit a crime.
Yeah.
I should have assisted.
Oh.
So sorry, Rolly.
Oh, it's all right, Pat.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total?
Well, 4 it was. Yes, definitely 4.
Oh, sorry, guys. I gotta reposition. Oh, sitting in the same spot for too long. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garadip household. Of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir, That's because that's how I found it.
Okay, we are talking about the knife dropping from above. How the hell do we think the knife got in her back?
Right. How you
think I have a theory.
found it. What do you mean?
When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh, yes, no doubt about it, sir.
Okay.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people in the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you look at it, it had to be the fella who ran off and done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it.
My lord.
Leia. Sorry, Leia was licking a pillow. Maniac. Oh, Jesus.
Nice.
Lord Van Zeeks. I had to yell at Finn last night because he was just licking the couch while I was trying to go to sleep. I was like, I'm going to murder you.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw in more ways than one.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him?
Why are you asking the man who is murdering people?
Hmm.
Do you really want to know?
For now, you're free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Or I will, and he'll suddenly be on fire. It's fun.
Please don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. Why is it your fault?
Yeah, you didn't do
I'm the one
nothing.
who committed a crime. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Leave your badge. No.
So,
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
yes, so.
Carve that lesson in your mind. And thus my heart grew 3 sizes that day. Never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of the crime.
Oh, never again, sir. You mean to say, oh,
He does have a heart.
Oh my god, feelings. Now I'm the one barfing. Leave now. This trial is not over yet. Ugh.
oh, so. I think I'm in love.
All right. I think this is a good place to stop for tonight.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep. I kept waiting for a good place to stop, and then we didn't have
We got one.
It just didn't come.
It did not
God damn
come.
it.
Happened.
Well, we solved one mystery. Before we leave, do you want to share your theory? Because I also have a theory as to how the knife ended up in her back.
Okay, so my theory is that the book was the first thing to get thrown. out the window. So she's bending over to pick it up, and that's when the knife gets thrown out the window, and it's just through the force and gravity stabs her.
Yep. We are on the
So
same
that's-
page.
Yeah, that's my theory. I think it's pretty solid. Honestly, they would have to introduce some random other person for anything else to make sense to me.
And we've now set it up so the crime scene is under the window, so it now makes sense.
Yeah. Because it didn't make sense, across the street. Across the street, it makes sense that Natsume.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I don't remember this guy's name all of a sudden. Because it would make sense then if it was across the street, if Natsume did it, because that. I feel like that woman, Mrs. Garrett, could have 100% thrown it across the street from out the window, but it's more believable that Natsume did it if he was if they were across the street. But being under the window, I think it was an accident, and she got stabbed because of a lover's quarrel and gravity.
Yeah, and no one caught it because she probably never knew until right now in this courtroom when we showed her the knife, going, "Hey, do you recognize this?"
Yeah.
So the theory that the lady who got stabbed is not her is a thing now gone, right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily see any way that there could have been like an intentional murder, I guess.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
Accidental.
Particularly because she didn't die.
Accidental murder, hooray!
Well,
So
yeah, I definitely think this is just an accident. I really don't think that, I mean, you could, but like, there's no.
That is the most unfortunate
we haven't been discussing.
accident.
Yeah, let's say we have not been discussing any semblance of a connection. So yeah, it has to be an accident, because we would have been talking about if it would have been an actual, like murder or a plotted thing. We would at some point have talked about how the characters are connected, and she's had no connections to anybody whatsoever.
Just
So
accidental almost murder.
Yep.
Played this game long enough that it's like we're missing some beats here for this to be on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the fact that she just wasn't anywhere. Plus, she seems a lot younger than Mr. Garadeb.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess they could be having an affair, but like, girl, you can do better. Gonna put that out there. So, yeah, I think it's literally just she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I think Mrs. Garadeb could, I don't know if they'll do it, but she could get charged with like, the accident.
Yeah, attempted murder.
Attempted, even though it was
I
accidental.
think it's technically like involuntary manslaughter or something like that at that point. If you're
Even
not,
if they're not dead.
I guess involuntary attempted manslaughter, is that even a thing?
I have no idea.
Seems like there's too many modifiers
That's
on
a
that one at that point.
lot.
Give me
Yeah,
a second,
that's
I'm
a-
Googling.
Yeah,
I need to
getting
know.
my
Such
phone out to
thing
Google. I'm
as
average.
unattempted
Okay.
murder.
Attempted
Accident.
involuntary manslaughter. It is apparent. Let's see. I mean, people ask what is attempted involuntary manslaughter.
This love is making me sick. I need
So-
my hollowed bath back.
Because involuntary manslaughter is an unintentional killing, the attempt to commit it is a legal impossibility. So,
It's an illegal impossibility.
I mean, you can't be charged with involuntary attempted manslaughter because attempt requires intent.
Yeah. So this
So-
one, I just Googled, like, could you go to jail if you stabbed someone on accident? Possibly. If the police feel that there's sufficient evidence to support the theory that it was not an accident, you could be arrested. If the accident was caused by your negligence, you could be arrested. So she could, in theory, get in trouble for the fact that she was throwing a knife out of the window. But I doubt they're gonna pursue it.
Yeah.
Yeah, reckless endangerment. That's the term.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she could get charged with reckless endangerment. Because I mean, her actions did hurt somebody, even though you don't intend. Because I mean, that's the same thing. Like, you know, you could, just reckless endangerment. There was really no intent, but there are still consequences to those actions.
And to be fair, she almost like burned down her house on top of it. So
yeah, homegirl needs to go to anger management.
I don't know what anger management is in the 1800s, but
oh, it's not. That's what it is. It's not.
It doesn't exist.
It's just not.
Is this the time of
doesn't.
that vibrators are being prescribed for women with rage issues?
Yes.
This is the same era where people believed that women could not be in automobiles because they thought that their uteruses would fly out. That's a real thing.
I
Google it.
That's fucking real?
Yeah, it's real. Like that was a beginning theory, and also why for a while why people didn't why I guess, you know, men and women didn't think women should be on bicycles either, is because you were going too fast. It could mess up your organs, specifically female organs. Anyway, the past is wild, y'all.
Yeah.
The past is too damn much sometimes. Fuck.
I mean, let's be honest. They still have not made huge strides in women's health. So, you know, we're past prescribing vibrators for rage issues. And, you know, like, our uterus is flying out anytime that anyone takes a sharp turn. But I'm sure there's...
My uterus would fly out. Just don't come back.
Yeah. How can we make that a thing?
I'd say, like, yes, I want that, but also that would be terrifying if just all of a sudden one of your internal organs decided to attach itself and fly out.
That would be... Yeah, I think that's not a good thing. I don't actually want that to happen, but it's the theme.
Yeah.
It's the vibe. That's the
If
vibe.
I knew it was going to happen and that was how to get rid of it, like, I'd be doing donuts in the parking lot. But
Well, also, you know, having it be not life-threatening.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
die. You know, not that way.
You'll deal with the uterus instead.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, on that note,
Nice.
we have our theories. We should, my guess is, finish up this case next stream.
Yeah, probably.
So it is Thursday, technically Friday where I am right now. Next stream is Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, as per normal. Anyone got any announcements?
Meow.
I was reminded by the fact that my work's health fair is coming up. Get your flu shot, y'all.
And I think most people are now eligible for the bivalent COVID booster. Is that?
Yeah. I know it's starting to become available. I've been checking. It is not available in my area yet, but that could just be a location issue, not a I'm not eligible. So
Right.
yes, there is a, would it be a third booster? Right? Or a second booster, technically. Third round of shots, or fourth. There's a second booster available. Yes. Look into it. Highly recommend.
Yes. Because flu season is going to suck if you also have to deal with COVID on top of it.
If you want to level up, I'm not daring you to, but I also would not recommend to doing both at the same time. If you can spread them out, you probably will like yourself better. But if you do them together, let us know how that goes for you.
I'm actually considering it, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
I mean, like, the booster last time kicked my ass anyways, and, like, I've never had super bad reactions to the flu vaccine.
I've never had a reaction to the flu. I mean, knock on wood here real fast.
Yeah, you know, like, but, like, I figure, like, if I'm already going to have bad reactions to the COVID vaccine, because last time I had just about every side effect you could get, which was super fun.
I love that for you. I'm so sorry.
It was awful. I was like down and out for an entire weekend. It was horrible. And then I got to go back to work on Monday, feeling mostly okay.
Yeah.
And well, I didn't rest at all, but thank you. So anyways, make your own decisions for your health. But look at your
But you should
boosters.
also consider, the health of the people around you.
Yes, that too.
Yes.
Consider getting a flu shot this year. They are important for stemming the reactions to the flu, because that is also not super fun to get. So watch for both of those. Any other announcements?
No. Meow.
You missed last stream where we spent like the first 2 minutes just meowing at each other. It was fine.
Yeah, all I know how to do is meow, apparently.
I had errands to run and I missed the meowing. God
You
damn
missed
it.
the
Yeah,
meowing.
I missed the
I'm sad.
meowing. It was just a bunch of meowing. We just made a lot of like meow puns too. We're like, yeah.
Well, I'm upset now, so my
Yeah.
night is ruined.
We can do more meows next time. Let's just make that a thing.
There we go. Sunday, everyone's
Pre-show
got to come
banter is
in.
Just meowing.
hmm
Pre-show banter. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Look, everyone's got to come with cat ears. Like, we're not turning on cameras, but you'll know they're there.
I mean, we still haven't done the
We still have not done, yeah.
that we always say we're gonna do. And I mean, cat ears would be a great way to
There we go.
introduce
Everyone
us.
suddenly needs to have cat ears.
I actually do.
I know I have cat ears thanks to cosplay, so.
Same. Thanks to cosplay.
Got a headband that has bat wings on it. Does that count?
Yes.
I mean,
It rhymes
Does that
with
count
cat.
for me? It's not a cat, but
It rhymes with cat. Though.
are bats like sky cats? The cat of the sky
the
world?
cat of the sky.
The cat of the sky.
I mean, it's not like, like, the cat of the sea is a catfish.
Right.
So, like, what is the cat of the sky?
I think that's a mystery for another night.
All right.
Files theme starts playing.
Below this stream are links to our Twitter and YouTube. Twitter, you can always tell what we're playing. Sometimes I'm half an hour late, like I was today, but you know what? I still managed to post the reminder that we were streaming tonight. If we're ever late, you can get that update there too. Sometimes we do extra streams, so that's usually pretty fun. And then the link to the YouTube, you can see it below. That has links to all of our previous videos. Well, not absolutely everything that we've played because we've been on this stream for like 3 years now. But all the stuff that we've been playing ever since Mana joined. So,
Am I the
Before
only
Mana,
lovable
it was the dark
character?
times.
It
We don't
was
talk
the
about
dark
the
times.
Actually, truly, the dark times were before we did Skype, and I
Mhm.
tried to do stream with you in chat.
it
and
was
then
so hard.
Because that was the most infuriating way to play Until Dawn.
hmm I still remember 428 Shibuya Scramble, trying to play it, reading the screen, and then reading your comment, and it was like, I am talking so much.
Those
So,
were truly the dark times.
They
We were
were
in
the-
a much better
The
place.
Dark Ages.
they were so dark, man. Especially because, like, you never quite know, like, concern until you are sitting here trying to crack a joke into, like, nothingness.
Yeah.
It's just really unnerving. I still get it when I do solo streams. It's like, okay, did that joke actually land? Maybe I'm not funny. I'm probably not funny, but that's okay. I will
Yeah.
continue to make jokes.
See, that's one of the hard things about, when I used to do art streams, was
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I think I'm funny.
I would have gotten on stream with you if you could have figured out how to do it with Skype.
Yeah. I don't have the setup. That's truly, if I ever want to start it again, doing streams on this side of the country,
mhm.
I need to figure out my shit. I
Yeah.
can't do what I was doing.
Technology
Anyway, so you can see all of those previous games that we've played. I've got stuff with both Lemur individually, Mana individually. We've actually played a decent number of games at this point. Like, we're starting to like rack up the playlists. So, and all of the games are in different playlists. And generally, when I do close a playlist, I do make sure all the videos are there and they're in the right order.
Oh, hell
with
yeah,
the right
dude.
number. And I only know that because the first Danganronpa I finished and realized that I was off my count by like 4 somehow. So apparently counting to like 27 is really hard for me, so don't ask me to ever do it again. Anyways, that's all I got. Have a good night. Wash your hands, wear your masks, get vaccinated. We will be back on Sunday. Have a good night. Bye.
Goodbye.